I'm making this video to have a brief introduction for the new developer onboarding process. This video will mainly include the equipment, how to choose the operating system, how to pick up a right laptop you need, and some key factor of the laptop you should pay attention to when you make that choice. And afterwards, we'll go to some basic Windows setup I will recommend. It's all very personal. I will suggest to make that configuration to make your more productive, but everyone have different preference for sure. And below, I will quickly introduce some software I would suggest or I'm using right now and I want to recommend to you so you could set up your local environment, how to make notes, which IDE to choose for different language. So let's begin from the top. The equipment, for sure, the very big fundamental thing is a laptop, which means it's easier to bring to the home or bring to the school and to do your homework or teamwork. Secondary monitoring is highly recommended, mainly because even the laptop screen size is like 14, 15, or 17. Uh, one skin for developer is still very limited. Sometimes you need to open a browser, open a IDE, and sometimes you even need to open an application on the third window. So I recommend at least have a secondary monitoring, uh, like at least 32-inch size. It will be easy for you and to see, and for long-term perspective, it will save some time to switch different windows. And third, the mouse keyboard is mainly depends on you. For me, I like a secondary mouse and keyboard to make it easier to typing because laptop keyboard for me is not that easy to use. It's still like a very personal. Second is operating system. Operating system currently we have a three major operating system: the Microsoft Windows, the Mac from Apple, and Linux is an open source one. Some are also add a Unix as a separate stream, but for me it's just like a commercial edition of Linux. So that's a major three I want to talk about. It's hard to say which one is better. From the server side, Linux is better. It's more stable. That's like a common sense or common agreement in the industry. But a lot of developers like Mac mainly because the battery is good, the screen is good, and it have a lot of convenience tool or software are built on top of Mac. But if you just go to a school and if the school recommend to use Windows, then use Windows as a new onboard developer, and you can switch different environment very easily. There's no much different across the operating system. You'll find out currently it's almost all the major tool or IDE all go across the different operating system. Okay, let's go to the how to pick up a laptop. If you are new on board and you want to get a laptop for your start your career, I like to say there's no much must to have, must to use. That's so-called concept in the laptop brand. So everyone like a, at least the top 10 for the current warning laptop industry. But even it's not in the list, it's also fine. For example, I like a Lenovo. The keyboard is good. Overall review is pretty good for majority of the Lenovo. And currently, I'm using Lenovo as well. HP, I use it a lot, but I don't like the keyboard for HP. Apple is different. It's not a Windows laptop. SS, the Huawei, Dell, Microsoft is not that common thing. Samsung screen is pretty good, but not recommend for the developer laptop. I said, I like to say this one is also okay. MSI is mainly for gaming laptop, so that's personal recommendation. It really depends on which one is on promotion, so you can get this brand to save some cost. And below are the laptop, some key factor you should pay attention to. First is operating system. Operating system is not relevant to the laptop. You can install different operating system system on the same laptop. You can even install multiple. So there's no really restriction for that. The screen size doesn't matter, but I will recommend at least the 14-inch. So the font size will not that small. It will be easy to read and easy to share. And RAM, for nowadays, because the RAM price is not that high, so I would recommend to go from 16 gigabyte begin with, and you like if some good deal are coming up, 22 is also okay. And for the hard drive, like although it's recommended for 520 gigabyte, but for me, I think also 256 also good enough for developer if you're not copy a lot of video and picture in your laptop. The code is very small. You can even use the hard drive, like external hard drive, so you can save some video or movies in your hard drive, so you don't need to take it all the time. That can also save some budget. The CPU, for me, although it's recommended for i7, i5 is also fine. For me, my previous laptop is using i3, and also it's a functional. So this one really doesn't matter, but i7 is recommended because it's the latest version. The HDMI port is mainly used to connect to your secondary monitor. And this like a Windows edition, it doesn't matter. Currently, I think majority uh, of the system are 62 bases. It's hard to find 22. And the Ethernet port is very common. I don't think currently any laptop don't have this. And below laptop battery life, it's good to have more than 3 hours, but as you use, the battery will be more and more become not that useful and cannot last that long. But you can always find charger nearby. So this one really doesn't matter. And for new laptop, I'm not worried about that. The hard drive I mentioned, SSD is recommended because laptop you need to take it here or there. The HHD will be kind of damaged when you're using and moving at the same time. That's why the SSD is highly recommended. And below, I put some reference to say like in the recent 2 years, what's the recommend brand or module I recommend for the developer, and what's the meaning for this key feature. So similar what I mentioned, but I will suggest you just quickly go through it to just have a basic understanding for what's the meaning for each of the configuration, and you can leave me a message if you have any questions. And I will take this one for example. That's just one laptop. I take a look to quickly explain why I choose this one. It's just simple. It's not personal recommended. I just find that the configuration is fitable. So you can see this one. The screen size is 14, which is easy, and the CPU have two versions, like i5 and i7. For me, both works. It depends on price if it's worth it. Here is a RAM. RAM, the basic start with 16, so I think 16 should be good enough. But if you have more budget, you can apply 22. Here is the hard drive. It's a 512 megabyte. I think that's more than enough for developer. So that's how you compare the key feature for a laptop. Okay, and by the way, here I would suggest to open the incognito mode if you're not using incognito mode if you're not using your own laptop, so it doesn't leave any record or history when you browse different data. Okay, let's go below the Windows setup. So when you first get a new laptop, usually I would recommend to do the below setup. Let's take this for example. First, it's a view, how to save the folders. So when you go to the File Explorer, you go to View and click the Options. Below is a changing folder and the search options. And usually I will set up like that. The major thing is you need to uncheck hide extension for known file types. This one is important because for different name type, the operating system will choose the default application to open it, and sometimes you you want to know what the extension tab it is. So, and sometimes hiding the empty folder, those doesn't matter, but I usually I will unhide everything to make everything is visible for me. But if you're not that familiar, just uncheck the hide extension for known file types. Apply and OK. So currently you can see all the file type, you can know what's the extension name it is. Okay, that's the first setting. And second is add a shortcut for the folder for the quick access. It's just a personal suggestion. So if you go to for me, I put the starting node in under my folder. If you check here, it's in the user and under my name. And below, you can find the starting node. I will put ID starting node in the quick access, just right below my name. And afterward, if you want to access this folder, just directly click the left-hand side, and it will be flipping to that folder you want to. Okay, next is the software installation folder. It's also a personal recommendation. You just install inside of the user, your username, and you can create a software folder. So the reason to choose that is mainly because the default one will be the program or program 62. That one have an empty space. Sometimes it may have some issue when you install the software in the past which have an empty space. Okay, the last one is just a tip. So if you want to use like a multiple sharing, multiple showing, you can choose the Windows plus P. So it can give you option to choose extend, only see the secondary screen, duplicate, or PC screen only. Okay, below I want to quickly show you some software I recommend. Actually, I put in the document as well. So I put a lot, but today I just want to demonstrate some of them. First, it's a GitHub desktop. You see, I directly download for Windows. To save time, I just download all of them at the same time. And secondly, it's a sublink. Sublink I already download, so I will try to open and explain how it works. As you can see, I can already download sublink. That's just a very light text editor, but to have like a full extensive function. For example, if you want to choose a package, install, and you can choose a different one in it. For example, this one is for web developer. If you install this one, it directly installed. I think I already did. So if you put a question mark, for example, H1, I don't know if I need to restart it. Let me try. Then also user, yes, okay. H1. Somehow it doesn't enable the init. I will figure out and display on my next video. And for now, I think it's already finished downloading. Let me install and quickly show you how it works. Okay, it's already started downloading. Okay, finished. So I want to sign in with the GitHub, so it will open your browser and see if it can find the like login details. For me, it's already did find my GitHub account. And currently, because I already cloned the repository, so I'm adding an existing one. Let me see if I can find it. It should, you see that shortcut make it easier. So you directly click that one, IT notes, select folder. That would appear Git repository. Would you like to create a one? I think the Git file is missing probably. No, .git. Oh yeah, the Git file is missing. So let's quickly check GitHub. and here is IT starting node, and you can code open with GitHub laptop, and afterward, yeah, you just come here. Okay, great. You already download the IT starting nodes, and let's say where it is. Sorry, let me check where is the repository location. Edit repository settings. Okay, ignore file git config should be fine. Currently, I want to find the git file so I can do some monitoring and to check in some code to do a quick demonstration. Oh, interesting. I cannot find the. Where did I just clicked? Add local. Study node is out here. IT study nodes. IT study nodes. No sure. I will check out and show a quick demonstration how to commit code on the next video as well. And let's go to the end. The Sublime already demonstrate, and the last one is the IDE for the Java developer. I would highly recommend the IntelliJ, which is a very expensive one, but if you have EDU account, you can use a full package for it, but if you don't, you can use a community version. It have a partially function, but I think it should be good enough for your first couple of years when you're learning Java. So that's basically the recommendation for the new onboard developer, and the software I will do a quick demonstration next time while I prepare better to demonstrate all the features and the installations. So as you can see, I also list all the different software I recommend for like version control. You can use Git, GitHub, or SourceTree. Local server side, you can use like a combination installer that for the Apache, the MySQL, the Python, no Python, should be PHP. Last P, I don't know if it's Python, but that's one I'm mainly using. The IDE, I can choose VS Code, the Sublime. Those two are like very common, can be used for different language. WebStorm is also like mainly for JavaScript, and IntelliJ is mainly for Java. Make notes, you can use Markdown, which I'm using right now. You have a couple of tool Markdown editor. Below are some software I would suggest to make notes. Some of them are online, some of them you have a client-side software you can install on your local. And personally, I would suggest to, as a developer, if it's mainly like a Word document, or some starting nodes, you can use the GitHub and Bitbucket set as a private project. So only you can see it, and you can also grab it anywhere when you have internet access. Below, there's another one I recommend. It's called Everything. This one kind of building an index for a local laptop. So when you want to search any file, you just tap the name, it can find the location for you. I will install it afterward to find where I put the repository. Below is how to record the screen to make that video. And this one I think is not for developer, it's only for myself. I think that's pretty much everything I want to share today. And on next video, I will probably show you, quickly demonstrate or lead you to see how to install those software and how to use it. And maybe have a couple of Hello World project to demonstrate how it works. Okay, thank you for watching and bye for now.